Bang that gong. Good morning, Bay. How we doing? It's Friday. It is Friday. We are almost ready. We're almost ready for spring break. It is my honor to stand up here this morning for our only morning meeting of this week. We've been busy. I hope you all have your classes scheduled and all that great stuff. Our seniors, they're not here, but can we give them a round of applause? They had their SSP night last night. Awesome, awesome, awesome to the seniors. And for you juniors, you rising juniors, it's almost your time. Are you juniors sitting back there on the stairs? You're testing it out, making sure that you're, right? Do that. Well, I'm excited to welcome our speaker this morning. This morning we have Gabi Bernstein, who's going to give her talk. Let's go, Gabi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gabi. I'm a junior. Are the slides up? Yes, they are. Okay. My name is Gabi. I'm a junior, and I'm here to talk about a concept that has become pretty important to me in the last 6 months or so. As basically everyone knows, I'm Jewish. It's something that's incredibly important to me, and I rarely stop talking about it. I also go to a Jewish summer camp that I've been going to for 8 years. It's impossible to overstate the impact that this camp has had on my sense of self and identity. So, of course, I was excited to go back last summer after a year of not being able to go due to COVID. It was also my last year of camp, which brings a lot of last year traditions and self-reflection on the camp experience as a whole. Every year at camp, the head of your age group, who is called your Rosh, picks some sort of Jewish concept to continually emphasize throughout the session. This can be a quote, a piece of Jewish thought, anything that the Rosh could find meaningful and thinks the campers will find meaningful too. This year, my Rosh, Yoni, picked the concept of radical amazement. Next slide. Radical amazement is a concept that was originally conceived by Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, an extremely influential 20th century rabbi who, among other things, taught at the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York City and marched arm in arm with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the Selma March in 1965. Radical amazement is best summarized in a quote from Rabbi Heschel himself, which is also up here if you'd like to read it, who wrote, "Our goal should be to live life in radical amazement. Get up in the morning and look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. Everything is phenomenal. Everything is incredible. Never treat life casually. To be spiritual is to be amazed." During COVID, every day had been the same. Get up, log on to Zoom school, stay in classes all day, log off of Zoom school, do my homework, take a walk, do more homework, and then go to bed. I didn't see anything special in my day. I just wanted it to speed by. Going to camp was a complete jolt from my routine. Something different and special every day. Memories to be made at every moment. In previous years, I had stayed in the corner and complained with my friends whenever there was something happening that I didn't want to do, whether it was services or discussions or games, but because it was my last year, I decided to make the absolute most of my time at camp because if you can't get out of it, get into it. A very wise piece of advice that was actually given to me by my camp counselor. Yoni asked us to find a moment of radical amazement, a wow moment, as he called it, in every day, and I embraced that idea wholeheartedly. Next slide. And so I woke up every day of my 3 weeks determined to take nothing for granted. I participated in everything, volunteered for everything. I threw myself into every tradition, every song, every service. I yelled so much that I lost my voice a couple times. I talked to as many people as possible and made friends I never would have imagined having anything in common with before I talked to them. To me, every moment last summer was a wow moment. Next slide. I actually remember the moment I took this picture. It was a Friday evening, and everyone was taking pictures together in their nice outfits before we went to the Friday night services that welcome in the Jewish holiday of Shabbat. I was running back to my tent because I had forgotten something, and on my way back, I realized that the clouds look really cool. And since I didn't have my phone, I took out my one disposable camera and used up one of my precious 27 pictures to take a picture of the landscape. It's not the best picture, but it's a picture that holds an important memory for me, because the moment I took my camera out to capture a relatively mundane moment was the moment that radical amazement became ingrained in my life. Other pictures are also very important to me and hold wonderful memories, but this picture is the one that represents what radical amazement is. Because to me, radical amazement is stopping, even when you're on your way somewhere, to admire how the clouds look. It's recognizing every moment in your life, both the exciting and the mundane, and realizing just how lucky you are to live in a world where there are such special things like sunlight and music and cool-looking clouds. Next slide. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and on the last morning of camp, I found myself sobbing my eyes out when I hugged my friends and my counselors and the people that I had lived with for the past 3 weeks. I got home, took a shower, and texted my friends how much I missed them already. It was hard for me to take home what I had learned that summer. It was easy to find meaning in every moment when I was spending every day in my favorite place in the world with some of my favorite people in the world, but how was I supposed to do that at home when all of my friends were traveling in a mundane world of daily walks and reading the news and doing nothing? For the rest of the summer and first semester, I did try to make radical amazement a part of my life, but I was too busy dwelling on how much I missed camp and my friends that I took for granted the things that were making me happy then and there. I slogged through every day, eager to get to the next one and the next one, but not exactly sure what I was waiting for. Next slide. Over winter break, things changed because I went back to camp. I went for a camp reunion. I got to see my friends again. I even made new ones, people that I had known for years, but had never even connected with until that weekend. The first night, we were all in a circle before Friday night services began, and Yoni, our Roche, asked us to share a wow moment we had experienced in the 5 months between camp and that weekend. And to be honest, I couldn't think of one. There were moments that made me happy, but was there a moment that I had consciously stopped and then and there thought, I'm so lucky and grateful to be here? No, not really. I wasn't living up to what I had decided to do at camp, to live my life in perpetual radical amazement. We even designed sweatshirts that say "Live Radically Amazed" on the back and have everyone's names on them. Second. It says "Live Radically Amazed." I wear this. I love this sweatshirt. But I can't, they were given out at the reunion, but I couldn't wear a sweatshirt with a message on it that I wasn't living up to. And so I decided to make a change in my life. I decided that my mindset from then on would be of taking nothing for granted. I would find everything that made me happy, everything I was grateful for, and stop and recognize that feeling. I would finally do what I promised myself that I would do 5 months before. Every day, I would find my wow moment. Next slide. I'd like to think that I've been pretty successful at this task. For the past few months, I've been working on finding everyday wow moments. Sometimes, on a good day, it's easy. It's taking a hike with a friend, it's seeing a beautiful sunset, it's a particularly good bay lunch, coconut curry. But sometimes, on a bad day, it can be hard to think of something that made me grateful to exist. I have to force myself to think, what is one thing that made me happy? Maybe the sun was out and it was warm. Maybe someone told me a funny joke. Even if it was a bad day, there's always at least one thing that helped make it even a little bit better. Last week during Bay Day, I was laying on the grass in the sun next to my friends, watching people play bubble soccer. And I realized how wonderful my life has been these past few months. I don't think my life has been objectively better this semester than it was last semester. When I think about the things that have made me happy this semester, like hanging out with my friends and theater, they're very similar to the things that made me happy last semester. Rather, I think it's my mindset that's changed. Finding wow moments has made me aware of everything that makes me happy. I don't take the special things in my life for granted anymore. So many things in my life are changing quickly. I'm leaving to go on a college trip tomorrow. That's crazy. It feels like last month I was a freshman. Senior year is just around the corner, and then college and a lot of other exciting things. But I'm trying to live in the present right now because I'd like to enjoy my time in high school while I'm here. Radical amazement makes my life feel slower and fuller. Each day is its own special gift, not just a thing I have to wish would speed by. I'd like to challenge you. Find a wow moment today and every day. When there's something meaningful happening, stop and realize it. Take pictures of beautiful flowers or sunsets or clouds. Nothing is mundane if you're paying attention to it. Live your life in radical amazement. Thank you.